welcome.
Mommy, that bum is in the bathroom and there's something hard in his pants.
All right, I'm Susie Essman. You're who?
Hold on.
Who are you?
I always need to recover from shit that he says. That scenario is hilarious. I'm Jeff Garlin.
And we're here with Larry David.
Yeah, it's
And we're
exciting.
discussing season 2, episode 6, The Doll.
Yes.
Which is,
Was that episode 6? I thought
Yes.
it was episode 7.
maybe, was it episode 7? Well, Larry always knows.
All right.
All right, La.
Okay.
Episode 7.
By the way, feel free to ask me any question about the doll or any question about anything.
How
for
did
that
this
matter.
episode come up?
Here's how it came up.
Anything we want. He did his shoulders.
My daughter, I don't know. Let's see. What year are we talking about? 2000. Yeah, she must have been 6. And she had a doll.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at the doll. And I thought, what if I cut the doll's I thought I'd really like to give this doll a haircut. Yeah. What would happen if I did? Would she be upset? Whatever.
And
But
so
you
that
know-
was the derivation.
yeah.
But
of
by the way,
doll.
people like us, and I'm talking about comedian people, we have a million thoughts that run the gamut from that to really inappropriate. And we don't act on it because you didn't cut the doll's hair, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
But you thought, what if I did?
Yeah.
And she'd be upset. And thus the germ of a classic.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing. So we start out, you're in a pitch with ABC, with Julia,
Yeah.
pitching I'm Not Evelyn, or what.
Yes, I'm sure.
And you're drinking a lot of water. You have to drink water 8 times a day.
I'm setting up the ending, yeah.
Correct. And so you already had the ending in mind.
I don't know if I did. We needed the bottle of water because
You had to have, because the bottle of water
Yeah.
didn't add anything to the storyline except for his argument and the ending.
And
Yeah.
also, no, a lot of peeing, having to use the bathroom at the Michelson's house.
right,
a lot of that.
A lot of
Yeah.
peeing.
Yes, yeah.
Have you ever been told a lot of peeing in your work?
No.
Okay.
And you're there, and you find out that Jason is also going to be working with ABC, playing a motivational speaker. And your question is, where did you meet? Because prior to that, you had the whole mishigas with Jason about having to go to his office.
In show 1, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yes, it was just a joke.
Yeah.
It was good.
Did you meet? Did he come to you or did you
Right.
go to him?
Well, by the way, one thing I love about your character, nothing is let go. Nothing. If there's anything done to you, it will be investigated until the end, and you may destroy that person with something. But I always find that usually you dig a bigger hole for yourself.
Usually.
Yeah.
As a grudge bearer, I think. So yes, where'd you meet? And then you're pondering, because we see how deeply it upsets you that you actually met, that Jason came to them, but you had to go to him.
Right.
And then you're part of the ABC family. Come to the screening of Harriet Beecher Stowe.
The hardest thing about this show, as I recall, or one of the things that I didn't care for, that I had to do, there had to be 2 screenings in the same theater. It's so stupid.
By the way,
because something happened the first screening, right? And then some, of course, the ending, the second screening. But you're coming back for part 2 tomorrow. I
Yes.
guess.
Well, by the way, the part 2 tomorrow becomes hilarious.
Yeah.
It does.
Becomes a thing that you actually throw around.
Yeah.
And then your question, what's the difference between Harriet?
Yeah, that's later. That's
no,
later.
isn't that this meeting?
No, that's later.
It is,
I think.
I thought.
Oh,
Okay.
that is.
I
This
think that was
meeting,
the
yes.
last line of the
Yeah.
scene. Right? Yeah.
But who wants to go to a screening of Harriet Beecher Stowe? And then,
By the way, history buffs, just saying.
I never understand why you go to a screening of something that's going to be on television. Why do you need to go to a screening?
Because he's
You could
part of
sit
the
in-
ABC
You could sit in
family.
your house comfortably watching it on television. It's not like a movie that's going to be in a movie theater. Doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm sure it didn't to
And
Larry at the time.
that's the movie theater that we've used since, I don't think before.
We've had premieres there.
Well, our premieres have been numerous times.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3 times. But that on Paramount Pictures lot,
Yes.
there's a big screening. I mean, theater. It's a theater. It's
I
not a
think our
screening.
last premiere was there.
Yeah.
Season 11.
Yeah.
And then Lane Michelson asks you, you're going to come. You say your wife's Susie's a friend who's an art director. How is Susie? He asks you, how is Susie? And then you'd say, you're staying in a hotel. We
Right.
split up.
I had completely forgotten that you guys, your characters had split up.
Yes.
I didn't. When I was watching it last night, I thought, oh my God, they're not together.
No, because we already did the Thor episode where we split up, where you had to go get his porn.
Right.
Yeah, that was prior to that. We got back together, obviously,
I know
because we're
that
such
guy.
a happy couple.
Love the side in porn. I know that guy. Watching the porn. I know that guy.
Who said that?
Didn't you say that?
Oh, I did?
Oh, no, that's a different Get the Porn.
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember.
Julia gets out of it by saying her son has pink eye very wisely,
Yeah.
which we know was bullshit.
By the way, no one argues with pink eye.
No.
It's one of those ones.
And after that,
they're
that's when you
connected to
say,
pink eye.
what's the difference between Harriet Beecher Stowe and Harriet Tubman? Who Harriet Tubman comes back again in this season. We're not going to say how.
Right.
And at the screening, you set another thing up. This is the beauty of this episode. You say to Cheryl, I think we might have some sex tonight. We might be due for some sex tonight. And Lane Michelson comes, he introduces himself, and a woman stops you going into the theater.
As I consider her.
Excuse me, there's no food or drink in the theater, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Really? I like a condition. I really need to have this.
You're gonna have to finish it out here, I'm sorry.
This is my favorite stoppage of
I
all
love it.
time, especially where it
And
leads.
then I find out a minute later that she's just somebody attending the screening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't work for the
It's
theater.
No, she's-
which,
Yeah.
by the way, gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
She says
gold.
to you, no
Yeah.
food or drink in the theater.
Right.
And what if I have a
And by the way,
condition?
Yeah.
and by the way, she was hard on you. You thought there were strict rules, and she was in charge of,
Absolutely, yeah.
which made the second part.
Yeah.
By the way,
yeah. Who are you? Yeah.
yeah. There's no way other people wouldn't react that way unless they're repressed.
Right.
You know, you
Well,
gotta
they might
say,
not say something. They never.
"Oh yes, that's absurd. That's absurd that she doesn't work there."
But most people wouldn't say. I personally would say something.
There's a 5% jackass factor. People who just don't like rules to be broken regardless. And so, yeah, but there might be a 5% chance that someone would go, you're not supposed to bring water.
See, I
Yeah.
faced that
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
but the person who is so in control, it's the rule. You can't do it because the half-ass is jackass.
I have to tell you, when there's a rule, okay, that I think is a legitimate rule, and I see somebody breaking a legitimate rule, I don't like it.
no.
I don't
Well,
like this
but
person. Who do you think
like
you
when
are?
you see somebody litter, for example.
Exactly, yeah.
But if you were coming in with a big thing of food and a sandwich, but a bottle,
A bottle
of
water, yeah.
it's too innocuous.
Usually even no food or drink, water is acceptable, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel the same way. If you see somebody doing something, a litterer or and it's something we did in a later episode, taking 2 spaces in a parking lot, or
The big Parker,
Yeah.
By the way, it happens every day when you drive. Every day when you drive, there's
big
someone,
parking?
no, when people say, I'm not going to follow this rule, I'm going to cut in here, do this, do that. Every day when I drive.
In New York, you know what happens to me all the time? Because I have a dog. I see other dog owners not picking up the poop.
Perfect.
How
That's
dare
perfect,
they?
yeah.
And I say something all the time
Yeah.
because I am that woman.
Okay. But meanwhile,
What
I
is their
brought a water
reaction?
into the theater, and that was no big deal.
That was
Yeah.
no big deal. But the fight between you and her was hilarious.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you work here?
No.
How come you told me to get rid of the water then?
I saw you come in with water. There's no water. That's the rules.
I don't understand how it's your concern. You don't work here.
It's the rules. The sign
rules?
says no food or drink in the theater. I'm sure we would all like to have water.
Oh, yeah, we're all dying of thirst. What are you, the hallway monitor here?
Who are you that the rules don't apply?
I'm applying the golden rule. Are you?
I don't think the golden rule
Yeah?
applies here.
If you had water, would you want me to tell you not to bring it in? I don't think so.
How about common courtesy, buddy?
Oh, that
common
doesn't
courtesy.
supersede the golden rule. That's the big one.
You're nuts.
You're nuts.
All right.
Jackass.
Yeah, don't bring any pens or pencils in.
Quiet. Loser.
Excuse me, Mrs. Cantor. We've got homework. You forgot to give us homework.
You know, what are you, the hall monitor, the golden rule, all of that. Teacher, teacher, you forgot to tell us we have homework.
Right.
No, by the way, the pens and pencils was, I think, the last one. Are we going to be using pens or pencils?
Excuse me, Mrs. Cantor. Was that a teacher you
That
really
was my
had?
first grade teacher. Yeah.
We've got homework. and Cheryl, for the millionth time, saying, all right.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, every episode Cheryl has said so far that we've watched, all right. The water monitor, and then you see her talking to Ann Michelson. Then you're at the Michelson's house,
Right.
and you're telling Jeff about the fight, and you see the hall monitor woman, we don't know her name,
Right.
talking to Ann Michelson, which was
Yeah.
Rita Wilson, and Jeff says to you, you're going to go to part 2. You want to go to dinner tomorrow before part 2? No.
That's just the beginning. Now I wouldn't do that to Jeff, but because it was so early in the run of the series, it didn't seem to make a difference that I said it to Jeff. Our relationship has grown, and
But also, I
couldn't say
wouldn't
that to
give a
him.
shit.
And he wouldn't give a shit.
By the way, in real life, that's our relationship that you would say to me, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
and I
but
go,
still,
okay.
this is part of the joy of doing the show for me is to be able to say things to people that I can't say in my life. And one of them is, you want to go to dinner tomorrow night? No, I don't. Yeah. But it was Jeff who got the brunt of it that time.
I loved it, by the way. I thought that was hilarious.
You know, let me ask you, Jeff. I have a note here, and then you start talking about that you liked it because she's showing a lot of cleavage.
Yeah, when I don't think that was in the script. Yeah, when they walked away, I'm telling the ABC guy, what happens in the second half? Is she in there? Because there's a lot of
bosom and
yeah,
a lot of cleavage. Yeah, I don't know that your character would do that now. What do you think?
Oh, totally.
Again, how the characters have changed. Do you think so?
My character has not evolved. Actually, if anything, I'm more a defender of Larry every season.
Yes.
And everyone understands my feeling towards you. That's why my character has 1,000,001 affairs. So I think he would definitely question whether there's going to be more cleavage.
All
or
right.
even nudity, by the way.
Larry then has a frozen margarita, has a chest freeze, and
I must have. I think there was a period that I went through where I would get that chest freeze.
Right.
I don't know. I just felt
now
like
you
doing
freeze yourself on purpose.
Yeah.
And Ann Michelson comes over, and she's clearly doesn't like you already. She's already
she
because
heard from
the
the
hall monitor
Yeah.
that you're the hall monitor. You know, whoever volunteered to be a hall monitor?
Not me.
Not me either. I hated the hall monitors, the rules rosies. And she's clearly doesn't like you already. You go to the bathroom. There's no lock, and then the dilemma. The strings playing, you're holding your foot against the door and trying to figure
By the way, the funniest one is holding the foot against the door because the toilet's a mile away. The idea that you thought maybe I could
reach it.
Yeah.
So stupid.
It was so stupid. Hilarious.
But I think that's a great example of how music is used in that show. You know, the strings there, which is so.
Yes.
Yeah, it plays against the thing. Yeah.
How did, while we have you here, if I may, how did you, is there somebody who originally came up with all this music for you? Was there a music editor?
I heard the theme.
Right.
Bum, bum. I heard that on a bank commercial.
Right.
And I had it. I told Laura, my assistant, I said, I heard this music that I love. Maybe I'll use it one day. And then 2 years later, I said, remember that music I told you to save? She said, yes. So that's in some kind of library.
Right.
And once we got that music from the library, there were tons of other little pieces that were usable for the show.
Like do, like all
Yeah,
those?
like I said, I told Steve
Rash,
the editor, I said, I want like Italian circus music.
Nino Rota.
Yeah,
Nino Rota.
all kinds of Italian circus music,
Right.
because I felt like even if something doesn't work, you put that circus music in there
Yeah.
and it makes everything lighter and funnier. So yeah, that's where we
So
get all
there's-
the music from.
is
This
there-
library. But occasionally I will say, oh, you know, it would be great here, a Strauss waltz, or
Right.
you know, it would be great here, some Rossini. I'll know a particular piece that I'll
the
suggest.
music
know a
library in
particular
your head.
piece?
Yeah.
Do you listen that much?
No, I
knows
know
music.
classical music.
Yeah.
By the way, you've surprised me over the years, and I get a big laugh out of it, with your knowledge of popular music. And you know the words, I mean, they are accurate from one word to the next. And I'll say, have you listened to that? You like their music, Beach Boys, whatever? No, I've heard it a bunch, and I just, and you start singing.
No, but I do like the Beach Boys.
No, I know. I know. I'm sorry to use that example.
But is there a separate editor who does music, or is that all the?
Steve used to do all the music.
Oh, he did, yeah.
I'm not sure if he does it all now.
Right.
So I
Because the
I
music
don't
is
know.
so important in the show.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that Jeff and I noticed when we were doing the original pilot special, it didn't have the music, and it felt so. I mean, it had some cute little jazz music, and it was fine.
But it
it
would've been
felt
so much better.
different.
Yeah.
It felt so different.
Yeah.
The whole world of it, the music creates the world of it. Okay, so you need to find another bathroom because this bathroom is not working for you.
No, it's no good.
Always a lot of bathroom themes.
Yeah, it's part of life.
It
But
is
by
part
the
of
way,
life.
there is always humor as long as it's not about pooping.
Scatological,
No, it's
yeah.
not scatological. There's a lot of humor in bathrooms.
There is.
We even did a big episode about that later
My
on.
favorite bathroom bit was the one I did on the plane, where I went into the bathroom and there was turbulence.
Yes.
That was, I think that was
8.
season.
Was that 8?
I think season 4.
It was a New York one. That's all.
It was going to New York to shoot the producers, I think.
Oh, that was that one.
yeah.
Yeah. So you go upstairs to find another bathroom, and you enter the little girl's room. And her name was Tara. Little girl's name was Tara, and she's playing with her dolls. And she asks you, "Do you have to go potty?" And you come out of the bathroom, and she's brushing her doll Judy's hair, which
Yeah.
is very long hair. How was she cast, this little girl? Because she was terrific.
Audition.
Yeah, she auditioned.
By the way, her rhythms.
She was great.
Yeah, her rhythms were like, because she would go from A to Z in
Yeah.
a millisecond and then go right back.
Go right back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
she was terrific.
She was.
And I want to get to you running into her later in life, but after we get more
Oh, you
storylines.
did?
Yeah.
How old was she when you ran into her?
I think she's close to 30 now.
Yeah, she's an
Oh,
adult.
shut your great grandma's
Yeah.
balls!
Like-
Really?
Well, this was
28,
2001 or
Yeah, I think she's like 28 or 29.
yeah.
It's
But I want to
20
hold
years
it because
ago,
I want to
yeah.
get more storyline in because I don't
Whatever
want to
you
give
do,
that
I
away.
follow your lead.
Okay, so she's brushing and she asks you to give her a haircut. What is you supposed to do?
But by the way, he's already having so much joy being with the girl, talking to her,
Not being at the party.
Well, that for sure. But that's one of the things that, Larry was.
I think
giving
I
her-
commented on the long hair.
right.
Yes, very long hair.
I don't think I brought up, would you want me to give it? I didn't say that.
No,
She led you into it.
asked you.
She asked me, yeah.
She said, "Do you think you could give it a haircut?"
Yeah.
And you take out your Swiss Army knife and have a very funny line about the Swiss let everybody do their fighting for them while they ski and eat chocolate.
Yeah.
And you cut it. It's a Dorothy Hamill thing, and it looks great. And she's all happy. And she even says she looks much prettier. Tara says the doll looks much prettier.
Yes.
And you say, it's a very French look. Now I would take her out. And then you go back downstairs and you pass the hall monitor
Right.
on the way. We never know her name. And Cheryl walks out of the powder room and says to you, "There's no lock." And you're like, "I know." And she asks you to guard the door.
Right.
Is this true?
Yeah, well, she asked me. She asked me to give it a haircut.
True, Mommy.
You walked into my daughter's room and you cut her Judy's
It's
hair?
not
Well,
fair.
she asked me to give it a haircut.
And did you happen to tell her that maybe it wouldn't grow back?
He didn't tell her it wouldn't grow back.
I thought it was understood.
How could you not understand that a little girl has a vivid imagination? She's extremely gifted.
Sorry.
I hate
And this
that
little girl
doll's hair.
doesn't know that her dolly's hair is not going to grow
Really?
back. Do you know who this is? This is Judy.
I
She
thought
is a collector's
I thought it
item.
would grow-
We're not going to be able to find another one like this.
I
got this doll before she was born.
Well, I can replace it. I'm sure I
Oh,
can.
you can replace it. This is like Liberty the Beanie Baby, out of production. OOP, okay? Not coming back.
It's never gonna go back.
What is
What
that?
is that?
I guess I missed a strand there. I got a Swiss Army. Let me get it. I got a Swiss Army knife. I could get that.
Mommy, look at my doll's hair. I hate it. He cut it.
That's what she could do. She
Yeah.
could go from really warm and calm to insane in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, she came down. She
Yeah.
was in a tizzy. Yeah.
Yeah,
And your
in a
character's
tizzy.
thinking like, what? You
What did I
wanted
do?
it.
And once again, you didn't really do anything wrong, and yet no good deed goes unpunished. She asked you to cut the doll's hair.
Exactly. Yeah.
And by the way, you did a good job cutting the hair.
I thought I did a
Yeah,
very good
yeah.
job.
You left one little strand, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
But
No, I
that's
left
for
the
the
strand, yeah.
But was that not part of the script, the strand?
Probably not.
I don't remember.
Because it certainly gives Rita Wilson's character ammunition towards
Yeah.
you. It's such an awkward moment. It's great.
I don't think it was, if I recall the outline. Whatever.
All right.
And she says, and you're like, she asked me to cut the hair, and Anne's like, did you tell her it wouldn't grow back? Of course you didn't tell her it wouldn't grow back. What a fucking idiot is she that she wouldn't grow back?
Well, I thought
it was understood.
That comes later on. That's one
Yeah.
of my favorite lines in the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was understood. And Anne, she has a vivid imagination. Rita was terrific in this
Yeah,
episode.
really
Did you
good.
mention that she goes to Merman at
That
that
was
point?
later.
Yes,
That
yes.
was later.
Yeah.
That was later. And then Lane Michelson walks in on Cheryl in the
Right,
bathroom.
because I left my post.
You left
'cause
your
I had to-
post
I had to
because
deal with the situation.
A whole hilaria was
Yeah.
going on. And Ann Michelson says, "This is Judy. She's a collector's item. We could not find another. OOP, out of production." And the girl's crying, and the
Yeah.
haircut's ugly. And you say, "I could replace it."
Right.
And then Jeff says, "Sammy, our daughter, who was a son prior to that, but suddenly became a daughter, and also aged quite a bit in the
Yeah.
year in between, has a huge doll collection. We'll go to my house. We'll zip in. We'll zip out because, you're not really allowed to be there."
Right.
Jeff's pretty sure that he's got the Judy
He's got
doll
the
in his
Judy
house.
But
doll.
also the fact that I wouldn't take into consideration my daughter's feelings. I'm serving you. I got to get you out
Well,
of
you
this.
know she had a giant
I
doll
know,
collection.
but
You didn't think
but
she'd
I
miss
didn't-
it.
But I didn't take a beat to go.
No, you didn't.
Not
Yeah.
up, and
That's
that's,
right.
Yeah.
why my character is shitty.
Yeah.
So
Tell me about it.
all right, stop.
So Cheryl exits the bathroom and she just looks at you with that look, which I found in the first couple of seasons, there's more of that with Cheryl than there was later on, like more of her going to get you back. There's been several episodes where she's going to kind of get you back. And then you're home and you're like, "I fucked up."
That's a real Brooklyn thing.
Yeah.
I fucked up. Yeah.
But by the way, if there's one thing that, in my experience, that you do to a woman is when they're yammering about something, then they're angry that you make a joke or you do a silly voice. They're infuriated. So this time when I saw you do that, I was like, "Oh my God."
It makes it worse.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah, it
my
makes it
God.
worse.
That's what his
You're
character
not
does.
taking it
Dig deeper.
seriously.
Dig deeper.
You're not validating my feelings.
I'm admitting I made a mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not really.
Yeah.
And you weren't really. So Cheryl's like, he saw everything. Like, think of the worst possible thing. So I was sitting there. Like, what did he see? She's sitting on whatever. But she was not happy.
Well,
And
no, he saw her pretty much completely naked. That's what she asserts. He saw
Yeah.
everything.
right. And she
That
tells
is
you.
humiliating, by the way.
She tells you that she could never see this
Why did
man
I
again.
add that? I just want to take a breath to go, why did I add that? That's humiliating.
Well, of course it's humiliating.
No, I know. You just answered my question. Of course it's humiliating. Did I want to just participate more in the show? What was my choice in doing that? Let's move on.
Should we analyze that?
Why did you add that?
because I didn't want anyone at home to go, why the fuck did he ask that? And I know our audience, I'm assuming, is very intelligent, and I just don't want to let anything go by where,
Cheryl then
I don't
says,
think you had anything to worry about with that.
I'm moving on.
Okay.
Cheryl then says, I can never face this man again. I'm humiliated.
Right.
And Cheryl's like, you have to go somewhere else. We can't do it at ABC. But she can't go to NBC because of GE and the PCBs.
I burned some bridges,
You can't HBO. You're totally fucked with.
Yeah.
We're running out. And you say it's a moot point if we can't replace the doll. And then you go into divorce. Is this a divorce?
Yeah.
And that's where we see that the dynamic with Cheryl that's great. That your relationship, how she plays off you and you play with, it's a nice.
In my real marriage, I would never say to my wife, what do you think? Maybe a little sex tonight?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I'd have to put a move on the way if I was dating, I don't say let's have sex. I never say that.
Does she always have to initiate?
No.
You'll initiate, but you just won't verbalize it.
Yeah, or I'll pick up a cue or something. Okay.
Yeah. Always looking for the cues.
And so the divorce, if we had a fight, I would never go, divorce?
It's so great she'd say yes.
But by the way, you were clearly joking, though, when you said divorce, and she knew that. And
Yeah,
so
of
she
course.
replied,
It was.
yeah.
I'm just saying in
that
life,
shows
in
the
life,
playfulness.
you can't say
I
that.
would never have said that.
You can't say that in life.
Yeah.
You're in a fight. You're in a fight.
Yeah.
You can't make jokes.
But that's what I'm saying. It shows the playfulness that you had with that Larry and Cheryl had in their relationship, which I think is important. Okay. Then you come to go look for the Judy doll. You come to our house. You drive up to our house. Remember that house we had in the hills?
They do. Nichols
That's
Canyon
where I
somewhere.
fell in the sponge cake. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no.
Wasn't that the house?
It was the house, Susie.
That was
It was
where
the
I fell
house.
in the
Yes,
sponge
that's
cake.
next season. Yeah. I fell on the sponge
Oh,
cake.
you fell on the
Yes.
sponge cake.
Yeah.
And you come and you call and you go up to Sammy's room. There's a million fucking dolls. I've never seen so many dolls in my
Well,
life.
there was a purpose to that.
And Jeff says, Judy, Judy, Judy.
Judy! There you go.
No.
Yes, it is. Of course it is.
No, it's not her.
That's Judy.
No, it's not Judy.
I've seen Judy. That's Judy. I'm telling you.
No. Judy has brown eyes.
No.
She has blue eyes.
Oh, you don't know the eyes.
No, I do know the eyes.
Come on. I see my daughter call her
Sweet
Judy.
Judy Brown Eyes. I said it in my head. Sweet
You
Judy
said
Brown
Sweet
Eyes.
Judy
Yes.
Brown
Yes, I
Eyes?
know the song is Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, and she has brown eyes. It's
Wow.
brown eyes. That's
Wow.
not Judy.
Sweet Judy Brown Eyes. Holy shit.
Sweet Judy Brown Eyes. Now, by the way, when he said that, when he came up with that, we both exploded. It took a while to get back into it because that is nuts. I remembered her. I put it together. Sweet Judy Brown Eyes. It's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious. Oh,
But then
man.
you do spot Judy up on the top shelf.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you go to get it and the shelf falls,
All right,
which was an
now-
accident. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, yes, it was. Every time we did it, shelf was fine. Maybe it was the last time, or no, it was the last
It was
time.
the first time.
Not the shelf fell down.
It was the first take.
I don't remember.
But you would know that. I don't think so, because we were, anyhow, point being is that was not planned. And Larry and I just stuck with it. We knew you were coming shortly. We just stuck with it. And we're like scrambling. And that whole thing of me putting it up and saying I'm worried, I just made that up on the spot because we had to justify the thing being on the ground.
And sometimes that's the best things that,
Oh,
that we
that was
come up
gold
with.
for you.
Right. Yeah.
Because that makes you go, what the fuck is going on?
And that does happen frequently where it's a happy accident where it just makes everything
well, that's
better.
why one of the keys to improvising is don't stop.
Keep going.
Yeah,
and the
don't
door
you-
slams. Susie's here. Fear, fear, fear.
Yeah.
I love that. And Larry, what are you going to do? You take the head off and you stick it down your pants.
Which
The
by
head screws off.
well,
Yeah.
by the way, pretty much all dolls, you
the
blow
heads,
it off.
Yeah. So, there was something about the way this show just unfolded that I loved, because now I've got this head, and I'm going back to Rita Wilson, Mrs. Michelson, to give her the head. Then I have to go back. Then we see you about it. That's coming up.
Yeah. So, and also you stick the head down your pants, which becomes
because
an
the thing
important
is,
point too.
Usually I need a number of ideas to get through an episode. And the idea is, okay, the ideas I try and make them all intersect at some point. But with this show, it's really just one idea, cutting this doll's hair. There are little things around it that support the idea.
Like the bottle of water.
Yeah, like the bottle of water, the relationship with the woman who, the whole monitor. But that's just supporting the overall idea of this doll, of cutting the doll's hair.
Right.
It's one of the few episodes, I think, in the series, maybe the only one, where there was really only one strong theme from beginning to end. I might be wrong, but that's in my memory.
Yeah.
But by the way, I watch it and I really think it's one, to that point for sure. I mean, I know Beloved Aunt tickles me, but that episode,
that had other stories in it.
Yeah, that had
but I'm saying
stories.
that episode was so dense and everything perfectly led to the next thing. It was like the dominoes on the Tonight Show. You don't know where it's going to end. You do, obviously.
It's about legs. And so this idea of cutting this doll's hair, it just had a lot of legs. You could see it going from here to there, to there, to there, to there. Like twice as many scenes as an ordinary story would have.
Right.
Most stories, most ideas don't have legs like that. You can only get, maybe 3-4 scenes the most out of it. But this one had so many legs that it covered the entire episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in awe of your writing on this episode because I always refer to Nat Hiken. This is your truly Nat Hiken, Car 54, where you don't know where it's going to end, even though, because the connections of where we're talking about, you're about to get a rash. Like, how did that, steps and steps. And I find that fascinating. He's the only other writer who I've said,
That's a nice compliment.
It is. Yeah. For any of you at home, just Google Nat Hiken. I don't want to explain.
Okay, so Susie's here. Take the head off, and the music is so great on this. Takes the head off, sticks it in his pants, and I'm screaming, you're supposed to call first. And then I walk in, and you're pretending to put the shelf on,
right,
which was an accident.
Right.
Again, that was, and I noticed for myself, this is really the first beginning of the Susie Green look. I've got the animal print vest. I've got a gold
is that
shiny
right?
top.
This is the beginning?
I think so. There was little hints of it before, but this is season 2.
Yeah, I remember supervising what you wore with a. I was really on top of it the first couple of seasons. I'd look at it, I go, no, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. And then finally, I just gave up. I gave up. Yeah.
Now, every time we work, we have no idea, and it's a complete surprise.
I don't care.
The one you wore yesterday with the side loops, the orange outfit, was pure insanity.
Yeah.
And
but when I come on set, there's always a reveal.
It is, though. And it's always funny.
So you're pretending to put the shelf up. And you say to me, I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And you say, just Sammy's shelf was always bothered, always worried you.
I couldn't sleep. I've been thinking about the shelf that it's going to crash.
And that Larry put up all the shelves in his house, which is the most unbelievable
It is awesome. But that's where the show goes. It's like someone says something, you go, oh, I can make this even funnier.
When I say, what are you, Mr. California Closets over here?
Yeah, the idea of you putting up all the shelves is hilarious.
And then I say to you, what do you think?
Hold on. Have you ever put up a shelf?
In my life?
Yeah, a shelf.
No.
I've never even held a shelf. Yeah.
Have you ever hung a picture back on 43rd Street?
On 43rd Street, all the pictures were on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. There was nothing on the wall. Nothing. Every picture was
just leaning.
Leaning on the ground against the wall. Yeah.
By the way, did you ever write a book and on the cover you're holding a shelf and you go, I've never even held a shelf? All right.
And then I say to you, you think I didn't notice you, Mr. Inconspicuous at the screening? And then, okay.
And then part 2. I bring up part 2 again. You're going
to part 2. Yeah, maybe.
I have to keep setting up part 2 because it's so crazy.
Maybe I'll go.
Maybe.
And then you're in the car.
Hold on a second here. The idea that there is a part 2
I
and
know,
it's a week apart is so funny. So funny.
It's not a week apart.
It's not a
the
week
next
apart.
day.
It's the next day.
Is it the next
Yeah,
day?
next
next
day.
day.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I was watching it thinking,
Oh, what
why
a
would it be?
schlep that is. You have to go back the next day.
Yeah, right.
And then you're in the car and you pull the doll's head out of your pants and there's a little itch down there going on.
From that synthetic hair.
And then Sammy screams.
Hold on.
Let's talk about the casting of Sammy.
She auditioned.
Auditioned.
Yeah.
She was adorable.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing that you did before we get to Sammy screaming, when we're driving in the car, you broke a record for saying the word penis. Penis this, I got to look at my penis, or is that the next scene?
That's the next scene.
Oh, fuck me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I still love that.
Sammy screams, "Mommy, someone cut off Judy's head," which again shows what a horrible father you are, that you thought she wouldn't even
Unequivocally.
notice.
That's why when I said my daughter's got it, don't worry, I thought this is of course going to screw him up. But I by the way, I'm a subtle asshole on the show. Just subtle. And the only person, you see it in an explosive way after I've done it, but when I suggest to Larry I'm about to do something, it tickles him. Really, you're going to do that? Especially my affairs. What's wrong? Yeah, okay, go do that. And by the way, one of the cardinal rules I have in life is if I have a friend and they're having an affair, please don't tell me. I don't want to be exchanging anything with your wife.
Especially if you know their wife.
Yeah, but if I don't, either way, it's disastrous. You want to do shit like that, keep that to yourself, because I'm not going to be a part of your festival.
Has anybody ever asked you to use your home or anything?
Never a home, but people have told me that they're having affairs, and right away I go, why the fuck did you do that? Why did you do that? Have you ever had anyone tell you?
Not like confide some big secret, but just very matter of factly.
Right.
Like they were saying they were going to a Knick game,
Yeah. Going to see my guma.
Yeah.
All right. So you bring the head to Ann Michelson, and she's, suspicious. All right, looks okay. I'll take it upstairs and make sure it
Sorry to interrupt
fits.
again. Something we passed over is you doing Cary Grant to the little girl.
Judy.
Well, how could you not? when
No,
you
I
had
know
Judy,
that,
yeah.
but she has no idea what you're talking about. Which
No.
Judy. So she's going to go upstairs, and you say, "May I use your bathroom?" You start to follow her upstairs, because even when there's no one in the house, you don't want to use the powder room with no lock. And
by
she
the way,
points him to the hall.
Hold on. That is fucking hilarious. That your assumption that you can go up there and use the little girl's bathroom.
I went to the girls' room the last time.
Right.
So
Why not?
I don't want to use the powder room. There's no lock. It made perfect sense.
No, but it was really funny. Yeah.
And the locksmith is fixing the lock. And that was, of course, Jonas.
Yeah.
Dear Jonas.
Dear Jonas.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Jonas was on our crew
Right.
for so many years. And so sometimes we cast crew members because they're fucking perfect. Like he was perfect for the locksmith and he already knew the show inherently.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and be funny. I'm going to be matter of fact because Larry does the funny lifting.
But he was really good.
He was
Really
Just
good.
a couple of lines.
We've also
Yeah.
noticed several times up until this point, Dort, our prop master, was used as a person.
The water splashing in the shack episode, he's in there twice. And the whatchamacallit with the asking for advice when you're trying to put a tire on.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Okay, so Ann Michelson comes in, the head is fixed, and this is where you go into the whole discussion about that she's gifted. This is a great scene.
Yeah, she tells me how gifted her daughter
and you say
is.
it's a shame she didn't know the hair wasn't going to grow back.
She's so brilliant, yet she didn't know that the doll's hair isn't
By
going to
the way,
grow back.
that is another character.
Yeah.
You won't let people throw you bullshit. You won't. It's truly, her. And by the way, who hasn't encountered an asshole like that about how special
And she's
they are?
at Merman. Well, one of my pet peeves is when people start telling me how gifted their children are.
Oh.
I don't want to hear how gifted your fucking children are.
And by the way, most children that are very gifted do not do well as an adult. I read a whole thing.
Oh, really?
In Bullshit magazine. No, I read it, I think, the Times. I don't know.
And then
Do you like the fun facts I throw in? Are you?
why not?
Fascinating.
All right.
And then you guys leave, and you were driving up the driveway to Larry's house, and who's there waiting for you?
Where's the head? I know you took the doll's head. Where is it? Where's the fucking head?
Now this one is an iconic scene.
It is.
Completely.
The spaghetti western music is
Yeah.
playing, which I was upset to realize that I thought it was my theme. It had been played earlier for Thor, but then it became my theme.
Yeah, then it became your theme, yeah.
And so did you pick that or did Steve pick it?
Steve.
Oh, brilliant move.
Yeah.
Brilliant move.
Brilliant move. And where's the head?
Yeah.
And this scene just plays out.
Because you're speaking like the Susie we know now.
Right. And,
in a big way.
And it's really, I mean, well, we had the Thor episode before this where I was somewhat in that vein.
Somewhat, but this
I
is
think
really...
This scene really established the fear that Jeff and Larry
I think
live
it put
in
the
of
stamp
Susie.
on Susie. This is the journey we're going to have with
And
Susie.
also so totally justified
Yeah.
from what you were saying. Right?
Yeah.
We took
You two are just silent.
We took Judy's head.
Well, and imagine, from my point of view, why would you take a doll's head out of your daughter's doll? It makes no sense,
It's
whatsoever.
It's so insane. Think about it from your point of view.
Yeah. It's completely insane. That's why I say some voodoo shit you guys are doing.
Voodoo shit.
We took a doll's head from your daughter. How could you possibly imagine what we could have been doing
What
with
is
it?
It sets up that has been going on for 12 seasons where you two were trying to put something up, put something over on me, which is just ridiculous and it never works. And you live in fear of Susie Green. And at that, it's of course, one of my favorite scenes.
By the way, at the time, it was one of our, but we were, because remember, we got in the car and drove off and we're going, wow, is that great? Yeah, it was really.
I also remember in that scene when I say, stop scratching your balls and tell me where it is. That was in looping. And that was the first time I looped.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was in looping because you needed that for story purpose to further along.
Yes,
I didn't actually say that in the episode. So that's an example.
You didn't?
No.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
And people always ask that question. Is it all improvised? And that's an example of a time when a line was not improvised because it was needed for story. It's rare, but sometimes it's needed for story purposes. And then you get into the...
So now this becomes a bit of a problem for me just in writing because now I have to go back to Rita Wilson.
Yeah.
And see if she has the doll...
The original doll, the cut hair.
The cut hair, the short hair. And so now it's like, oh, long hair, short hair. Is it getting confusing? How much do we have to emphasize this? That became a bit of a problem to go back. And is the audience still following this? Now I have to go back to her house and ask if she has the doll whose hair I cut off, the head. Yeah.
And it was in this next scene when you're in the car going back there that you start talking about your penis itches. And a lot of penis discussion.
That's a record for penis talk.
Yeah.
And I love the way you're just casually saying, I got to clean my penis. I got to get examined. I don't want to go to the penis doctor. Like it was just penis.
And you say you've got an allergic reaction, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I stuck the doll's head down my pants. Or what do you think? Oh, what are you going to say to the doctor? You go to the doctor and say, I stuck a doll's head down my pants.
Yeah.
By the way,
it feels good to me.
One thing that we skipped that really was another thing that we rode for a long time was when we left the house, you screamed at us, you bald piece of shit, I believe.
You fat fuck.
And I'm a fat fuck.
Or no, you've whatever.
No, but the point being is, I don't remember that happening before this. I think that's
no, in The Wire, I call you a fat fuck.
Okay, we didn't call him a bald piece of shit or whatever.
Maybe that's the first time I referenced your baldness.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but...
I said you bald fuck and you fat piece of shit.
Yeah, right.
That's what I said. Yeah. I think it is because I was only in 2 episodes this season.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so then you go back to Anne's house to ask for the short hair.
I was wondering, this is going to sound a little crazy. Do you have the short-haired head? The one that I cut?
Right.
You want the short-haired Judy head.
Yeah.
Why would you want that short-haired Judy head?
I kind of just like it.
And
Yeah.
she's like, why? Why would you want that? Yeah. And you're like, I like it.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And while she goes up to the kids to see if she still has the short hair version, you go to the bathroom to check your penis because you've got an irritation there.
Right.
And the hall monitor walks in on you,
Right.
of course. And then Jonas the locksmith shows up. You say, I thought you fixed it. Oh, I had to go get some parts, which is so bizarre because it was like a simple little push lock. Like, what parts would he?
I've
believe-
I've never trusted a push lock.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I don't
they're-
trust them. Yeah.
Yeah, the what's it called? The bolt lock.
Give me a bolt.
Yeah. And by the way, Jonas played that perfectly.
Yeah.
Not nonplussed that Larry could give a shit.
Yeah.
So she gives you the short hair head back, and you get the new head, and you bring it to me. And you say, all right, I got the head. And I'm like, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Something's not right. I don't know
No,
what.
you thought it was okay, but there was something.
Something.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious.
Yeah.
And it's not really working.
That scene really made me laugh last night when I was watching it.
Yeah.
The two idiots at the door.
Yeah.
I'm standing behind him. We're both kind of talking at the same time.
And when I
thought that was
hand
funny.
it, it's definitely, you can see it in my face. Please don't, please accept
don't
it.
notice.
Please don't
Yeah.
notice. Yeah.
And the dynamic, the dynamic of the relationship of the three of us continuing till now.
Yeah, we had a great scene the other day with that.
It's such a great
It's
relationship.
always fun.
So, all right. And next we're at the screening part 2. And
I'm sorry, the screening part 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And Larry, Jeff asked you, is your assistant seeing anybody? It's like, you're so gross.
I am a
You're such
scumbag,
dog.
but that's my character. And I,
And the Michelsons show up with Tara, and Tara has the Judy doll. And I see the doll,
Yeah.
and I see the long hair, and then I realize what it was.
You connect the dots. Yeah.
Connect the dots.
Yeah.
And I love that the rest of it is mimed.
But
where-
hold on,
Yeah.
you're miming it. But there isn't anybody for a million miles around that doesn't know what voice is coming out of that and how you feel. It was
well,
so
we've
clear.
established that, yeah. And I know what you two idiots did.
yeah.
You know, you cut the hair, you sick fucking blah, 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 blah. I love that scene. And then you go to the bathroom, and the men's room is an olfactory nightmare.
Hold on. That was the first time I had heard that phrase. I've heard it a few times since. What does that mean?
It's
It
smell.
stinks.
It has to do with smell.
But an olfactory-
Olfactory has to do with your sense of smell. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, somebody took a dump in there, and it was disgusting. And you
I
asked
still don't know
Cheryl
what that has
to
to
go
do with
look
the
in the women's
factory.
room because you got to pee because you're constantly drinking water.
Right.
So Cheryl looks in the women's room, all clear. You ask her to stand guard, but this is the subtle Cheryl revenge,
Right.
Where you just see it
A
on her
smile
face.
She has a smile and walks
Yeah.
away.
She has a smile, walks away. Nothing needs to be said. And it was the same thing at the end of the episode we did the other day, the trick or treat episode. Same kind of thing where Cheryl just smiles because you just drive up to the house and she's good. This is her moment where she's going to fuck you, but whatever.
I really like that trick or treat episode.
It was
by
a
the way.
very funny
I
episode.
love that scene outside with the cops.
Well, when we did that episode, we were talking about how fantastic Scrovan was
he
in
was
that.
great,
He
yes.
was great in that episode. We
Yeah.
talked about
Steve
that.
Scrovan, a comedian, writer that we all know.
Cheryl leaves, and then you have a moment where it's like, well, you want the bottle of water in the screening
In the
with you.
screening.
So what do? You put it down your pants.
But by the way, he was walking out and everything would be
Fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Binkity bink, and you turn around to get the water and shove it down.
I want to take the water into
Yeah.
the theater. I don't want that woman to win. I wanted to have water.
That's
Yeah.
right. And nothing wrong with having water
Exactly.
in the theater. It's got a closed top.
I don't
You're
like
not
being
spilling.
told. I don't like being told what to do.
And Tara comes running in, and she's like, "Oh, I love the doll, the Judy doll, the Judy doll."
Well, no,
And-
wait. The thing about her is she comes in, she's very confused about Larry being in the bathroom, and like a switch,
Yeah.
she's the happy little girl again.
delightful little
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
And she sees you, and she, thank you for fixing Judy's hair, and blah 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 blah. And she hugs you, And
Yeah.
mommy, that poor man in the bathroom, and there's something hard in his pants, and horrified people sounds.
But we hear all the people too.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the villagers.
No, the villagers in like a Universal horror movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you run to jump out the window
Yeah.
and fade out.
Yeah, it's one of those endings that just worked out like
Perfectly.
Perfectly.
So you didn't start with the end in this.
No.
So now tell about when you ran into her recently. It was just like about a year ago you ran into this girl. It was when you were doing the thing at the Greek Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Whiting.
Yeah.
One of our
Who
directors.
directed this episode.
Directed the episode. He was interviewing me at the Greek, and unbeknownst to me, he wanted to surprise me, and he brought the girl who played Tara, who's now an adult. She's almost 30, I think, and she came up on stage, and we had a little chat.
And what did she say about it?
I asked her if I had traumatized her for life by having to say that line. And she wasn't traumatized at all. She loved the experience of doing it, and she seems to have turned out great.
Is she an actress?
Yeah, she's an actress.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like to use her again.
And maybe
We
you will.
should. Yeah.
we should use her.
We'll make a note of that.
Yeah. And that's the episode. And to me, it is one of the most perfect half hours of comedy in the history.
Well, look at you.
Well, I think so. It's a perfect half hour.
I think it's
of
pretty
comedy.
great too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to. If I had one show to do, on
You're
your
doing more, my
podcast,
friend.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. No future. But let me ask you a question here. Have you ever been to Disneyland?
Yeah,
Did you go on any of the rides?
I went on the teacups.
My questions to you unequivocally lead to gold. If there's one ride I wouldn't go on, it would be the teacups. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that's beautiful. I picture you, of course, on the teacups.
Yeah, I was on the
I did it
teacups.
once and threw up.
Yeah.
On the teacups you threw up?
Oh no, that's dizzying. Those spin. Those
Yeah, they
things.
spin around. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that. There's too many people.
But that's why it's funny that he did it.
Was there a reason you asked that question?
No,
Oh,
I just
okay.
know when I ask him things that by the way, with Larry, with Larry, when I'm around him, when we do our conversation on stage, I'm an investigative reporter.
Okay.
And I want to ask the questions that I know.
All right, Geraldo
And by
Rivera.
the way, can I be honest with you? I've never asked him a question like that hasn't led to something amazing. And so in my mind, right then I'm trying to picture Larry at Disneyland. Things pop in my mind. And I know it's going to be interesting, A, if he's been there or not. And then B, did you go on a ride? And then who the fuck expects the teacup?
The teacup.
You're a big bowl of gold, you fucker.
And thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Larry.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So we'll let you know when you're needed next. By the way, it's always your option not to, but
I think maybe the ski lift.
Yeah.
But that's so many seasons later.
Well,
That's 4, I think. 4 or 5. 5.
5.
Yeah.
5. One of my favorite seasons.
Yeah.
By the way.
was it Larry David and the what?
And the
band
hipsters.
David and
the
the
hipsters.
hipsters, yeah.
Fuck. And you know what? When you delivered that line, you immediately looked at me. I think you sensed. And of course, I exploded because Larry David hipsters.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Lap.
Okay.